I think in response to that, again, you will get your time to re-examine, the cross-examine. So just wait for your time to come so that you can prosecute the matter further. But for the time being, let us progress so that we don't interfere. Thank you.
And Honorable Linturi, let's keep the answers brief because, like I said yesterday, Chair, I appreciate the difficulties of navigating this area. Honorable Linturi, how did it feel to be accused for 5 years non-stop of being a fraudster and a man who forges documents, obtains credit using stolen title deeds, and all the other things listed in Ground 2?
The Chairman, it's not the space that you would want to find yourself in, but it really takes you when you are accused of such. So the lowest levels in society, Chairman, and I say this because just like I mentioned, we have children. We teach our children. We discuss sexuality. This is an era where there are diseases all over. And anybody that would imagine that I would do such things is someone that would have wished you death.
You've mentioned diseases, Honorable Linturi. Please tell the committee how it felt to be portrayed for 5 years in a state-sponsored campaign in the media as a man who passes around venereal diseases. So those were some of the issues in these cases.
And just like I said, it feels very, very bad. It is really, really painful.
How did it feel, Honorable Linturi, to be portrayed on newspapers, on TV stations, on radios for 5 years as a man walking around with fake academic papers?
I also want to say it is very, very bad. It is wrong for anybody to do that. But I am really to ask for prayers and God's intervention to give me the energy and the courage to shut down. Otherwise, and I also thank God because and the prayers never and the slightest of attack of pressure or any other kind of disease, because that would have brought me down.
How did they feel, Linturi, for 5 years? Every possible opportunity on TV, on newspaper, whatever forum, being portrayed as a serial womanizer.
Of course, it feels bad.
Just for the record, Honorable Linturi, because we don't want to be seen to be trying to extract undeserved sympathy, between you and the mover of this motion, who has introduced these love and affection cases to this committee? You have to answer on the mic. Between you and the mover of the motion, who has brought these issues of love and affection to the committee? Is it you or is it the mover?
It is the mover.
Honorable Linturi is still back on that campaign. You told this committee that various judges and magistrates ruled in your favor in all of those allegations. Correct or incorrect?
It's correct. They ruled in my favor.
So my question, sir, did you see the media cover your vindication by various judges and magistrates with the same level of excitement and exaggeration they had used to cover the allegation?
I want to say no, and there is even a testimony in today's papers of what transpired yesterday.
Honorable Linturi, while this motion was going on, the motion we are in, have you been subjected to any negative media publicity?
Quite a lot.
I request that this time, Chair, we play video, I believe number what, Mawira? It must be number 3. The one, the bulletin by Citizen.
Waziri wa Kilimo umefika Linturi. Kwa sasa anahojiwa katika makao makuu ya DCI kuhusiana na sakata ya mbolea ghushi. Linturi kwa sasa anaandikisha taarifa huku bunge likijadili hoja ya kumbadua kutoka mamlakani. Mwandishi wetu Fertilizer yuko katika sehemu hiyo na sasa tunaungana naye moja kwa moja. Tueleze hali ikoje katika makao makuu ya DCI. Je, waziri Linturi ameshatoka ndani?
Na kulingana na undani wa idara hii ya upelelezi DCI ni kwamba Linturi tayari anahojiwa kuhusiana na sakata ya ufisadi wa mbolea ghushi, na kwamba aliweza kufika hapa takriban saa 1 iliyopita, na kwamba ni shughuli tu ya kutaka kujua kiini cha kilichotendeka kulikana na kisa hicho, na kwamba bado haijabainika iwapo atazuiliwa, lakini kwa hivi sasa tu tunaarifiwa kwamba aliweza kufika hapa na anatakiwa tu aandikishe taarifa maalum kuhusu yale yaliyotokea kuhusu madai ya kuhusika kwa sakata ya mbolea ghushi. Kwa kwamba hii inajiri takriban chini ya saa 24 tangu bunge kuteua rasmi kamati maalum ambayo itachunguza kuhusiana ama madai inayomhusisha waziri Mithika Linturi kwa sakata hiyo. Tayari kamati hiyo ambayo inaongozwa na mbunge na uwapo ya wanachama 11 tayari imefanya kikao. Kamati hiyo imefanya kikao chake cha kwanza, na tunaripotiwa kwamba ni kikao ambacho kitazungumzia labda ama kitaweka baina masuala kuhusu ratiba, jinsi wale ambao walihusishwa katika sakata hii.
So, Honorable Linturi, to the best of your knowledge, we can stop it there so that we save on time. When was this broadcast made, Honorable Linturi, to the best of your knowledge?
Last week. I don't remember whether you said this date. Is last week, either Wednesday or Thursday there.
On the 2nd.
On the 2nd, yes.
That is the day this motion was being canvassed before the House. This broadcast says, sir, you have been arrested because of this matter now before the committee, and you are undergoing interrogation at the DCI. Were you arrested?
I was not. I was not even summoned there. And the last time I went to DCI was those years, that time.
Would I be right to say, sir, this is the biggest media house in Kenya?
Yes. Even the Star carried an online article.
We'll come to the Star. Let's deal with this one for now. But Linturi, what do you say of this campaign? You have just taken us through a 5-year campaign of negative media publicity. What do you say of the fact that even when the matter is before this committee and parliament, the leading media house in the country is publishing fake news about you?
It's part of the scheme.
It's part of the scheme. Has this media house issued any retraction now that it is common knowledge this was fake news?
Not at all.
Have they even apologized to you?
No.
We are still on these love and affection things. I request we play the next video, which is number 4.
For me, it's economic sabotage. Because if these farmer is not going to grow maize for the next 8 years, for the next 7 years, because of someone trying to get rich right now, putting some salt and more urea, that is required by the
So should President William Ruto show Mithika Linturi the door?
For me, I think the president should lead from the front on this particular issue, because Fertilizer has been his running call, and us within UDA and Kenya Kwanza government have actually run behind, because we have seen the fruits.
So we need to block out the president to fire Mithika Linturi?
He needs to take action, whatever action that is required of him.
So, Honorable Linturi, who is the person speaking in that video?
As a member of Parliament for Undai, who unfortunately was my friend.
So, Honorable Linturi, is it coincidental this honorable member is making calls for your dismissal, and when the motion arrives before the House, it has 32 cases she has filed against you, and she has lost all of them? Is it a coincidence?
It isn't. In fact, this is the move of the motion by proxy.
She's the mover of the motion,
yes,
by proxy. But the Honorable Linturi,
Presiding Chair.
Yes, Honorable TJ.
You know, it is very difficult to wade in this area without getting scratched. But let me advise Council that although these are facts and issues which you must work around, try to walk the thin balance.
I'm guided, you and I will agree because you make perfect sense, so I'm guided.
Just 1 minute. Between casting up aspersions on a member of Parliament without a substantive motion and in proceedings such as this, but still retaining your right to talk around these issues. Because if you say two things, one, that it is a coincidence, would it be a coincidence that these things happen around the same time when a member of Parliament had said certain things, yet it is the sponsor of the motion who has collected judgments. Judgments are public documents which the sponsor can collect without necessarily...
Not the personal matters, Chair. The divorce causes and disputes are not public documents.
Council, allow Honorable TJ to conclude, then you can
So
come
it is important in principle to protect a member of Parliament like I. Yet, of course, there are issues that you must cover. So try to walk that very difficult balance so that we protect everybody here.
I'm guided, Chair, like I said. The Honorable Member and I are lawyers, and he's my senior, and as you have seen, we agree on many things, and I entirely agree with him even on this. I only request that, yesterday we invited the mover to consider dropping these allegations so that we don't have to be in this, unfortunately, to be really relevant. So I'm not working a very tight time. I must deal with the allegations in the motion, and here there are natural limits, of course, on how much aspersion we can cast on the Honorable Member for Aldai. But I'm guided, so let's proceed. The Honorable Linturi.
Council, Honorable Omanyo, you can say something?
Just watched my colleague on the screen, and the advocate has been almost convincing me that putting people on the media like that, and it's now he's doing the same to the other person. And the CS has said he respects women, he loves them. So why display her like that again on the screen? I'm confused.
Honorable Chair,
you can respond.
The answer is simple. The client faced with the ground 2 of the motion, that entirely revolves around matters of personal love and affection, which unfortunately, my client, if this motion is upheld by your committee, will not be eligible ever again in his life to hold a public office. And I have an accuser who bases their accusation on personal matters. When they are mentioned, as they must be, unless the allegation is dropped, that's what I said yesterday. We can't eat our cake and have it. For me, I am happy. If the mover is happy to withdraw this allegation, I'll be happy to have everything about these personal matters expunged. But he can't have it both ways. And I have a client to defend. I must do my job. I agree, of course, to the guidance by my senior Honorable Kajuam that there are limits. And I'm an honorable advocate, Chair. I will abide by what are the natural limits that I cannot cross in dealing with this part of the problem. I too am a married man with a wife and children, so I appreciate. And I'm 43 years old, so I know what lines I cannot cross in prosecuting this, but I must represent my client.
Sure.
Dr. Nyamai.
Well, Chair, I know this is very sensitive, and
Chair, again, I think we've run into the problem we had yesterday. Discovered during the interjection the clock is not stopping, and I don't want to have again to come.
Our team is alert, and they are taking note of that.
Yes.
well, Chair, these matters that are being raised here, unfortunately, they are there on accusation number 2 or ground 2 in the motion. And I must say that for all of us, it's very difficult to listen and watch this. I do not know whether we can request the good lawyer not to over-explain, because the over-explanation is also affecting your client. We have been seated here watching, and maybe you can explain less. All those 32 issues, which you must find a way of navigating, for the purpose of your client, I think it will be useful that you just do not over-explain. That would be my proposal, Chair.
Again, I'm guided, Chair. I have absolutely no problem with that guidance.
Thank you. Vice Chair is wanted to say? Okay. Any other member? No. Council, it is quite clear that the process you are taking us through, and especially on this particular matter, is very sensitive and moving people emotionally, including your client, as Honorable Member has said. But we can't run away from it again because it is in the motion. But what we are saying is, please take care of people's emotion, while at the same time you will be able to bring out issues that matter and are relevant. Thank you.
I will ask only 2 more questions on this matter. Honorable Linturi, all these so-called personal love and affection issues in ground 2, did they happen before or during your tenure as Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture? They happened before. To the best of your knowledge, sir, does Article 152 on removal of Cabinet Secretaries under a motion such as the one before us apply to events that took place before appointment?
No.
Last question on that area, Honorable Linturi. How how many people in your estimation would survive removal from office if personal love and affection and broken relationships were the standard for removal from office?
None at all. None. Including none.
None would survive. Let's go to allegation number 3. Luckily, Chair, we are past that difficult territory. That is on page 8, sir. You are accused of breaching the Leadership and Integrity Act. Can you see that allegation? In paragraph 3A.
Yes.
It is said, sir, that the reason you are sought to be removed from office is that you were engaged in a public, operative word being public, a public spat with journalists. As the mover presented before this committee evidence of you being engaged in a public spat with journalists?
No, he hasn't.
In the type of world we live in, Honorable Linturi, would it be difficult to prove, quote unquote, public spat with journalists?
No.
Because the journalists would have recorded it anyway. That's what they do for a living, right?
Yes.
Has this committee been shown any recording of that public spat?
We haven't seen any.
But we are told the evidence of this is a press statement that was issued by Ms. Faith Odinga, President of the Law Society. Has that person sworn in a witness statement before this committee?
She hasn't sworn in.
Did she come to testify in support of this motion?
No.
But the Honorable Linturi again, on a typical day in Kenya, how many press statements are issued against cabinet secretaries?
So many.
So how many cabinet secretaries will survive in office if a press statement issued by whoever person would be the threshold for removing a cabinet secretary from office?
None will survive.
Again, the same press statement mentioned the issue of fertilizers in ground 3B, rather invoking licenses. Has any evidence been placed before?
No.
None. You were shown a number, rather we were shown a number of letters yesterday. A number of letters authored by your permanent secretary. I request it be shown the letters, Honorable Chair. But I can put the question since he has had the chance. The Honorable Linturi, does any of those letters by the permanent secretary indicate how you may conceivably have committed a gross violation of the Constitution?
No.
Does any of those letters have any bearing on any of the 3 allegations before this committee?
No.
No.
In fact, some of them tried to exonerate us or exonerate me from blame.
In fact, some of them exonerate you.
Yeah.
So, Honorable Linturi, based on the text of those letters, the good thing with letters is they speak for themselves.
Correct.
Has any basis been laid for this committee to summon your permanent secretary on the inquiry before it, based on the text of those letters?
No, not at all.
Yesterday again, we were told many things, sir, about the Fertilizer Act. And I've just taken you to allegation number 1, allegation number 2, and allegation number 3. Is there any allegation in this motion accusing you of the breach of the Fertilizer and the Animal Foodstuffs Act or any other law?
None at all.
None at all. But as a matter of fact, the Honorable Linturi, are you guilty of failing to implement any provisions of that act?
No.
Would you tell this select committee why that act has not been fully implemented?
I want to say, first of all, by way of background, it's quite an old act. I think it dates back in 1965, which was amended again in the year 2015. And when it was amended, introduced the aspect of board, and for purposes of implementation, this has been work in progress. It's been work in progress because as a ministry, we tasked the Director Crops and Director Veterinary Services to, in the meantime, be dealing with the issue. A task force was formed, even in my absence. I was not the minister, but that is the record that we have. So, because there's a number of technical challenges that requires to be addressed, so the act does not say by when, but processes have started. A task force was formed, is coming up with a report. So I don't think it's really fair to bring that issue for me even to comment about it when it's not part of the allegations or one of the allegations I'm facing before this committee. In fact, it's irrelevant to the proceedings.
Yesterday, Honorable Linturi, whenever we asked the mover, he kept talking about perception and your character. Whenever we cornered him, there is no specific allegation. I don't know whether you're following my question, Mr. West. The move of this motion told the committee many times about your perception, your character, your reputation, therefore you should be removed from office. What do you have to say to that?
I have also trying to look at the grounds for removal of office, and the perception is not really one of the grounds that can form basis of removal of anyone from the office.
Let's assume for a moment, Honorable Linturi, for argument's sake, that one can be removed from office because they have such a terrible reputation. We're just asking for argument's sake. Assuming that were a ground, would it apply when that terrible reputation is a result of a 5-year state-sponsored negative campaign against you?
No, it can't be.
Honorable Linturi, you are a lawyer, or is it my assumption?
I am.
Under our legal system, to the best of your knowledge, are we allowed to judge people based on their reputation and character and how they are perceived?
No.
hearken to the testimony of Titus Kiprotich. Did he say he had read or had not read the motion before the committee? Please answer on the mic.
He said he had not read the motion.
As a matter of fact, did he say he did not even know that the witness statement he wrote was to be used in these proceedings?
He did, yes he did.
So, Honorable Linturi, a witness is brought against you, and his testimony is that he has not even read the allegations against you. What do you say to that?
And without really trying to judge, probably the witness did not, the witness himself admittedly didn't know even the contents of the motion.
Honorable CS, there is a member of parliament who wants to say something, a member of this committee. Honorable Omanyo.
I think we should be honest. The witness said he did not come to impeach anyone, but he only had evidence of fake fertilizer.
Those are not my notes, Honorable Chair, and maybe your answer can confirm because it's a matter of record.
Allow me to respond to Honorable Omanyo. Honorable Omanyo, as I said yesterday, the information you have said, we are all aware. We are all witnesses. We heard what that individual witness said. So please, sober up. I know you want to represent the people on the ground, but we are here as select committee. So take your role and listen. Thank you.
Sir, one of the other testimony brought against you was by a Banan Kuria Wajiko. Did he say he had read or had not read the motion against you?
He had not read.
He had not read. This gentleman testified about a fertilizer called Mavuno. To the best of your knowledge, is that particular brand of fertilizer one of those that are at the inquiry by this committee?
No.
It is not one of them.
Yes.
So again, Linturi, you have a witness who came. He says he never read even